Hi everyone and welcome back to the Love You channel. This is my co-host Andrew.
Hi.
And if you are new to this channel, this is the Love You show where we teach you how to rethink about how you think about yourself, self-acceptance, and self-love. So this is my co-host who's going to help us today on teaching us how... What is the topic today?
I think we're just going to check back in with you.
Oh God.
So we left Ashley about 5 days ago, and she had just ended a 4-year relationship. And I thought it would be valuable to see how she's doing and how she's thinking about what happened. And so first of all, let's just check in. How are you doing?
Okay.
Where are you at mentally? Are you angry? Are you calm? Like, tell me where you're at.
I think I'm calm right now just because there's many distractions or just things that I'm focusing my mind somewhere else that's really helpful. But there's times during out the day where I get sad, where
What's the sadness about?
the sadness is memories, remembering things that were positive, or that made me laugh about that person, and then remembering things that this person had told me, and like realizing that that thing could have been a lie or could have been the truth, and then I remind myself like it doesn't matter at this point. And then
Because it doesn't matter at this point
because whatever it was that he did to me was already it was a part of breaking a trust, and I just don't accept that. And the fact that he already crossed that, there's nothing else that had happened in the relationship that matters anymore, because that was enough for me to know that I don't want to be in this relationship anymore.
So you're saying then that regurgitating all of the would've, could've, should've just doesn't get you anywhere?
No, it doesn't. It just really, I've just been really listening to my mind and my body. Like this past weekend, I was home by myself with the dog, and it was really, really hard. I mean, I texted you and told you that like my whole body feels like a truck ran over it multiple times, and it's not like I did anything. It's just all the weight and all the emotion and anger and like sadness that I had put myself through for those days. It just like came back and just it hurt my body to the point like it hurt to move, to get up. And I've never have experienced that type of like depression where it sits in your stomach, and it doesn't make you hungry, it doesn't make you want to drink any water, nothing. You just want to sit there and just sleep. And it was a terrible feeling, but
How long did that last?
like a few days.
And then what happened?
And then I kind of pushed myself to go back to the gym so that I could take this anger that I had out on something.
What's the anger from?
The anger is feeling disrespected.
Okay.
This person disrespected me, and because there's so much anger that I wanted to do something, I wanted to lash out to him. I felt like there was no purpose in that I just needed to channel that anger somewhere else. And going to the gym has definitely helped me with that.
But on Monday, you were in no mood to work.
Oh yeah, I was in no mood to work or think. Like I just wanted to zone out and like just go to sleep.
And you did
Yeah,
work.
I did work and I did zone out.
So 3 days later, you're...
Here.
Yeah. And?
I'm glad that I'm out of that funk. I feel like I'm going back to my regular self and being able to be playful and witty. And it's also great to know that I have such a great support system around me, and everybody really lifting me up, like allowing me to be depressed and to be sad and to cry, and for them to tell me that it's okay, and just allowing me to have this space right now. Everybody has been so great about it, and It feels good.
So this event that happened to Ashley, that won't happen too many times in our lifetime, can either scar her permanently, so that in the future when you think about a relationship, it can scar you or she can grow from it. And today I'd like to work a little bit with Ashley to show you how she can grow from it. So I thought it was interesting, some of the choices you made to get better. Why are you laughing?
Because I'm
Like, you made some pretty cool choices. Like, you went to see Dr.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you talk a little bit about, like you did, even though you were down and depressed and crying, you couldn't move, part of you started to make choices to get better.
Yeah. Immediately after I made the decision of wanting to kick out, I contacted my therapist and reached out to try to get an appointment with her because I just knew that what I was about to go through was going to be really, really tough. And it's been like almost 2 years since I've seen my therapist. And
what's different about seeing her than working with me? Like, what is it about her? What does she do for you that I don't in working with you?
I feel like Dr. K comes from, one, a woman's perspective, and two, kind of knowing who I am as a person and how there's certain things that I need to have in closure, or she knows my personality, how that's not my character and that I should have not done something or I should have done this because this is who I am. And she's very nurturing. I don't know, it's just this comfort. She has helped me through a lot of things in my life, with my weight loss journey, previous relationships. So this right here, just being able to see her after 2 years, after another relationship, she had no clue, or not no clue, but she didn't really know what was going on. And it was more for me to come to her and tell her what was happening in my life and if I handled things the right way, knowing how I am as a person and how the emotions are just gonna start to come through, and it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel all these things, and that it's almost like like you're grieving over someone's death and you don't know how you're gonna react until it happens. So it was eye-opening, and for her to also say he's not a bad person, Ashley, he just did a bad thing, but he's not a bad person, in that I really did have love for him. He had love for me, but he decided to do what he did.
What else did you do for self-care? So you went to see her?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you hung out with your friends, and did you guys go out to a club? Or?
Yeah, we went out to the club, or we went out to a bar and had some drinks. I really just try to surround myself with people that I enjoy and that doesn't feel like I'm putting in effort. I'm trying to think. I took Denim out. Me and Denim went to the stores and did a little bit of retail therapy. I mean, just did things that made me feel good, like get my nails done, go get a pedicure, go to the farmer's market and buy fresh fruit. These are things that I stopped doing. Like, I guess just being by myself this weekend made me realize all the things that I stopped doing because this other person didn't care to do them. My living space, I got to clean my house and like just really air it out and sage it and get rid of all the things that remind me of this person and finally make my space, because it just really showed me how much I let things go and how much time and space I gave to this person.
So she had a choice, and she made choices to support her own well-being and health. She could have just spent the last week getting revenge. Because those thoughts crossed her mind.
Oh, most definitely crossed my mind. I mean, I threw the boxes that he had left here, I threw them in the trash after finding more information that I didn't even know about. I threw them because I was so pissed, and I was like, this is my way that I'm gonna get back to him. And then after talking to my therapist, she was like, Ashley, you know that's not what you want. So then I went and literally physically took his belongings out of the trash can, and yeah, I was like, I feel much better in my heart that you know, I took them back. I didn't treat his belongings like shit, but I know I wanted to.
So last week Ashley and I talked about relationships and the two components of a relationship being love and then compatibility. And we went over her list of those characteristics or qualities that she's looking in for somebody. And then we looked at how really didn't match up to anything on that list. And when we talked about love as a really powerful force. But I also want us to think about this concept. What we think might be love that we feel for somebody might actually just be our needs being fulfilled. And that feels good. So when we look at a relationship, was that relationship just a need fulfilling machine? Is that what he was in your life for? Is that what you described as love, when in reality you had something that needed fulfilled and he fulfilled it? We are in relationships, and when we go into relationships, we're looking for somebody that's compatible. And I looked at, again this morning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the most important qualities in a person that you're looking for because you want to build a relationship with somebody. And they are, he works and can support himself. He's accepting of different cultures, sexuality, etc. He's healthy and athletic. He loves to go out and do stuff. He lives on his own and is open to someday living together. He's within 15 miles. He is comfortable with himself. And you guys have the same belief system. Mm-hmm. So given that list, I'm curious about, was this love or was he fulfilling some need that you had?
Well,
and I've never asked you this.
Yeah.
So I need you to really think about it. Because it's hard for me to understand how this person met nothing of what you were looking for in a person. Go.
I mean, after you breaking it down, I mean, he definitely was fulfilling a need.
And what was that need?
The need of feeling wanted, loved,
right,
cared for.
Right. So this is the trap we fall in. Instead of a relationship being built on common values and goals, a relationship becomes built on what we as a person need fulfilled. When we enter a relationship with our needs being fulfilled, it's destined to fail. Because what we're doing is we're giving jobs to the other person that they didn't apply for. Meaning that this person's got to satisfy something in me by the way he behaves or what he does or what he says so that I can feel a certain way. One of the reasons then we become devastated when it's over is that that need is no longer being fulfilled. Yeah. So part of the loss that we feel is, how am I going to get that need fulfilled again? So when I said at the beginning that either this can scar you or you can grow from it, I think that you need to look at your motivation behind wanting a relationship. Mm-hmm. Because this is not the first time you've run this pattern. Mm-hmm. And unless you can look at what you want, and actually what you want should be so clear that you could give this list to everybody upstairs and they could find people and go, well, look, I found this person, Ashley, I think you should meet them. They're da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Instead of, hang on, what was it about him that began to fulfill that need? Because I just remembered something. Like, how did you meet? What did he do that made you start to feel good about him? That he was starting to...
Oh, that he was actually coming out here.
So he hit you up randomly on Instagram.
Yeah, but I ignored it for a long time because I just wasn't interested in dating anyone that was long distance at that time. And what made me continue was the fact that he made it sound so easy for him to come out here and just hop on a plane that I didn't have to do the traveling. The first thing was him saying, I wanted to take you out to dinner. And I said, sure, if you're ever in San Diego, not really caring about anything. Mm-hmm. And then he actually showed up and I was like, I've never had anyone really do this. This is pretty cool or interesting. I don't know. And I mean, I had even talked to you about this where there wasn't any real connection, but I felt like, okay, maybe I just need to see him again. But yeah.
So one of the things we do when we meet somebody is that there's these red flags that come up.
Yeah.
But because we're getting our needs fulfilled, we ignore the red flags. They were there at the beginning.
Yeah.
Can you recall any?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Religion, lies.
For example?
What day he was coming, he called it he was gonna catch a plane, didn't. That he owned a house, he didn't. That he wasn't talking to anybody. I mean, there's just so many that it's hard to remember the first ones, but those are the the ones that come to my head.
And then those ones at the beginning, were they it or were they continuous?
They were continuous.
So why'd you hang in there?
Because I believed his apology. I believed that he was going to get better. I felt like if this person has as much love as I do for them, or I care enough that they care enough, that we could make this work. I always felt like, you know, he could grow. And then I wanted to ignore everything because I didn't want to lose that that kind of relationship of like being with somebody long distance and not physically being with them in person. So it was like I still got to live my life, do what I needed to do, and it was just a text message or a FaceTime away.
And that felt good.
It felt good, but then I know I always wanted more.
But there were red flags even in that. Red flags, they continued, and then, so here I want to ask you a fundamental question. Do you value people that tell the truth? Is that something that you're looking for in a relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah. How strong is that value to you?
Very strong.
And then when you find out that they're not, why do you stay? What's implied in that?
That it's not a value to me, that I don't value it as much as I say I do. Because I don't want to put in the work of like being in that situation. I rather just believe in what they're saying. And saying this makes me think back to a situation where I should have left and I didn't leave because I was in Alabama. It was that 2 weeks that I was staying there for Christmas with him and his family. And I think this was the time that I found out the whole house situation where he was lying about owning a house. I found out that he had a dating profile, and I asked his brothers about it, and then I still confronted him, and he lied about the dating profile and finally confessed about not owning a home. And just, I literally wanted to leave and I didn't. Like, I kept changing my flight back and forth, and just being in that situation and just feeling all alone, I rather had just believed his lies and sucked it up and hoped that he would change. And I knew, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do the work. I didn't want to end the relationship. I was just really living on this, like, I hope he's telling the truth, or I hope he will change. Like, if I catch him in this lie, maybe he'll learn not to lie again.
How's that going to happen?
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. I realize it's not. Literally doing this work and teaching these classes and filming all this has really helped with the process.
So along the way, Ashley had these red flag events, and every red flag event, she had a choice. The choice was stay or go.
Or go.
So she kept choosing staying, whether she formally chose it or not. And instead of leaving would have been in support of her stronger values. Staying was crazy, because now you've got 4 years of being lied to and staying in a relationship that could scar you. Part of the way to grow from a relationship that ended painfully is to own it. Like, I can't do anything about him. I got to own, what did I do here in this 4 years that brought me to today? So own it. Like, tell me how you can own it.
I own that I put up with too much because I'm too nice of a person and I hate confrontation, and I was just way too patient, and I was hoping for something that was never gonna happen. So I own that. I stayed in this relationship way longer than I should have. And I've apologized to the people around me because I feel bad that, you know, not only did I stay in this relationship, but I've also dragged them into this relationship. And that's another part of why I feel disrespected and why I was sad this weekend. Because I just, having to sit in that and sit with how many times I let myself not make these decisions to leave him. I just kept staying, and I felt that all this weekend, just all these situations replaying in my head and rethinking them, and then telling myself like it already happened, there's nothing I can do. All I can do is just move forward from the situation, feel this pain that I'm going through,
and you can do 2 more things.
yes,
And you did the first one, which was own it.
own it.
Yeah, own your choices. And the second thing you can do is tell me 5 things that you learned from going through this that will now help you grow in the next one.
I don't need someone to fulfill like these needs. I'm the only person that can fulfill my needs. What was the question again?
5 things you learned to help you grow.
When someone lies, they're gonna continue lying.
So trust is important.
Yeah, trust
and
is
when they break
important.
your trust, they broke your trust.
You broke my trust. Like I'm not gonna put in the work to try to trust you again, because then I'm just fucking myself up. I mean, that's what got me in this situation. And not putting down my values that I have, not letting this person make me feel less or more just because I like something or want to do something. I need to, stay focused on myself and continue doing stuff that make me feel happy, no matter if they don't want to do it with me.
Great. Any more?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm still learning through the process of all this.
I want to say, though, that I'm proud of
Yeah.
how far you've come in a week. Like, I've seen people end relationships, and it doesn't take a week to get where you are today. So I want to applaud you for the work you've done. And,
I have you guys.
well, yeah. But,
And this.
And this. So, and thank you for waiting until today for us to talk, because it's been tough
Yeah.
for me not to be able to talk. I didn't want to talk with Ashley until we were able to do this in front of her, in front of the audience, yeah. So that's it for me. So let's think of a way to end this. So I just wanted to end today with this quote that I think is really powerful for the moment, and that is, whatever you are not changing in your life, you are choosing. So all along the way, as the red flags came up, Ashley could make a change. Instead, she chose to stay. So please keep that in mind. Ashley, any closing thoughts?
Thank you for watching this. That I love you guys for supporting me through this, and thank you to my friends and family who have been really great through this process and allowing me to have this space to grieve at this moment. But yeah, I'm excited to be sharing this experience because it's really helpful for me to realize these things and realize it in front of you guys, because I'm a human being and we all go through this, and I'm not ashamed.
Yes. So next week.
Yes, next week.
The final chapter on fear. So we will see you next week.
Thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. And maybe watch all our other videos if you haven't already. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.